Reversing narcissistic abuse. Don't just heal the narcissistic abuse trauma. Reverse the narcissistic devaluation programming. Hi, this is Mike. Welcome back to another video. This is the Reverse Narcissistic Abuse YouTube channel. So go here to reversenarcabuse.com to get started on how to reverse the narcissistic devaluation programming. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. A viewer on the channel left a comment here about being hypnotized. Are you being hypnotized by your narcissistic abuser? When you are in an abusive relationship, have you been hypnotized? I'm going to answer that question for you, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to reverse that hypnosis, if indeed it is going on. So let's go ahead and take a look at the comment right here. This person says, have you produced anything on hypnosis and BPD relationships? I've noticed a pattern. Love bombing to devaluation in seconds, sometimes with threats of infidelity or suicide, violence or damaging things, then me calming her and winning her affection or attention back, then getting love bombed again in a cyclical process. I'm actually in a sleep-deprived state, which, with the negative vocabulary used for several hours per day, must be doing something to my brain. I feel in a lower state of consciousness. That is a great question. The answer is, if you're wondering, is the question, are you hypnotized? Absolutely. You cannot be in an abusive relationship and stay in it without being hypnotized. You cannot be doing something that is irrationally destructive to you unless your thinking process has been compromised, unless as you say, your brain function has been compromised. Without a doubt, it's impossible. So have I ever made videos specifically talking about hypnosis? I may not have used that exact word, but that is an excellent way to describe it. That's exactly what happens. By the way, the way to shift out of that, I'm just going to, look, I've been in therapy for over 30 years, and I just left. I just left my therapist, and I just left my therapy group. And the reason I left is because it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because it doesn't address this very subject of being hypnotized. The truth is that as a little kid, up until the age of 7, you are in a hypnotic state. The reason why after age 7, kids sort of find their identity, by the time they're 7, 8, you can't really change them. They're very malleable up until age 7 because they're in a hypnotic state. They are taking hypnotic programming from the people around them. So this is what's happening also when you're in a narcissistically abusive relationship. You have been hypnotized. You don't walk into it hypnotized. So, for instance, let's go back to what happens with this person. This person says, I've noticed a pattern, love bombing to devaluation in seconds, sometimes with threats of infidelity or suicide, violence, or damaging things. All right, so this person is saying that if you don't do what I want, I'm going to kill myself. If you don't do what I want, I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to have sex with somebody else. If you don't do what I want, I'm going to commit violence against you. If you don't do what I want, I'm going to damage things. And this person then responds to that, calms her down. So he's trying to fix her. He's trying to help her. So he buys into it. Because, the essence is, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to do all these negative things and it'll be your fault. So you accept that. That is a hypnotic suggestion. It's not real. If you're on stage and a hypnotist says that you are a chicken and you start clucking like a chicken, that's not normal. It means that your ability to cognitively understand what is happening has been compromised, and somebody else has the ability to program it. So if you're walking down the street and somebody that you don't know walks up to you and says, if you don't do what I want, whatever it is, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to harm myself, I'm going to jump off a cliff, I'm going to blow up a building, your response isn't going to be, okay, you don't take that on. If you don't have a bond with that person and they come up to you and you don't know them and out of nowhere they try and get you to do something crazy, your response is going to be, look, man, if that's your choice. If you're going to go hurt yourself because you want me to do something crazy, I'm not going to do that. You want me to call the cops? You want me to get an ambulance and help you out? There's something really wrong with you. So that's exactly what you're doing in these relationships. Think about what's happening. You're in this scenario where everything is wonderful. You're being love bombed. You're in this great, the sex is good. You're being told what a beautiful person you are. And within seconds, like you say, within seconds, they then completely flip on you and then start threatening to harm themselves. And your response is to be programmed to do what they say, instead of have a rational response, which is, hey, that's got nothing to do with me. If you want to go do that, I can't stop you. If you're going to go hurt yourself, I can't do anything about that. But what you're asking is crazy, and I'm not going to do it. That would be the healthy response. By the way, that's the most loving response, by the way. The illusion is that if you kowtow to them, that somehow this time, if you do what they say this time, then it'll finally be okay and they'll never do it again. That is the unspoken promise. If you don't do what I want, I'm going to do something really drastic and self-harming. And if you do what I want this one time, this one last time, it'll all be okay. It'll never happen again. It's a big responsibility. Again, that's completely irrational. And the only way that suggestion gets to you is if you're in a hypnotic state. So he goes on to say, as I've already read, that he's usually in a sleep-deprived state. Now, what happens when you get captured by the enemy and they torture you? One of the ways of torture to get you to do what they want is to keep you sleep deprived. Why? Because your rational brain can't kick in. You are in a state of pure survival. And of course, you can't think straight. So you're willing to accept all kinds of programming. You're willing to do all kinds of things because you're not in a rational state of mind. So, I mean, I've never needed to make a video on hypnosis in borderline or narcissistic relationships because that's just a given. So again, as I said, I just got out of therapy, 30 years of therapy, because it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because the strategy is to heal the narcissistic abuse trauma. And that doesn't change anything. First off, it doesn't work. The trauma is so deeply, you've been programmed and you're in a program, and that programming doesn't stop. It doesn't stop until you're able to reverse the programming. So just trying to heal the abuse trauma won't reverse the programming. 12 steps are great. Actually, they're brilliant at creating a state of healing the trauma. But they don't go into reversing the abuse programming at the level that is necessary initially. It takes an entire lifetime of working the steps before you even start to learn how to do that. But there is a way to completely reverse the narcissistic devaluation programming. Here's the abuse trauma. You're in the state of hypnosis, which, by the way, doesn't go away just because the relationship ends. You leave them, they leave you, it doesn't matter. They die, it doesn't matter. You're still in that, there's a movie, what is that movie? Office Space? I think that's it. The Mike Judge movie, where the guy is being hypnotized, and he's being hypnotized into, just being happy and doing what you want. And then I don't know what happens. The hypnosis counselor, I think, dies or something like that. But in any case, the guy's in a hypnotic state and he's being told to just do whatever you want. And then the hypnosis doesn't end. And so for the rest of or for at least a big chunk of the movie, he's out just doing whatever he wants. He doesn't care about his job. He doesn't care about his girlfriend's giving him a hard time. He just hangs up on her. He just, he's been programmed to just do whatever the hell he wants. So imagine the flip side. You've been programmed to be in this dysfunctional, irrational, compromised mental state where you are not capable of knowing what objective reality is, and you're not capable of knowing rationally what you can and cannot do. You've been hypnotized to believe that it's this weird thing where, ironically, you've been hypnotized into believing you're this grandiose being who has the ability to do things that other humans can't, which is what your borderline is and your narcissist is saying. If you do this for me, I will be okay. You have the power to give me what I want, and if you don't do what I want, I'm going to blow up. I'm going to die, and it'll be your fault. Which, of course, is crazy. It's completely irrational. And if you're in a rational state of mind, you go, I'm not buying into that. I'm not taking that on. There are people that buy into that, but that's because they've been programmed from birth. They've been narcissistically devalued, programmed-wise. Programmed to narcissistically devalue themselves so that they spend their whole life in that state of hypnosis. So yes, this is a great question, because that can be changed. I have completely healed myself of the narcissistic abuse trauma of my abusive relationship. And I am now doing what I call quantum shifting. This is on my other channel, which is Thunder Wizard. And so I strongly recommend, instead of look, do you want to just keep coming onto my channel and talking about how they do this and how they do that? Do you want to go and spend the rest of your life on YouTube watching videos about how the narcissist does this? You won't be wrong, but just, it is important that you acknowledge the abuse that you've suffered. But that's as far as it'll go. You go into therapy, that's as far as it'll go. You'll look at the unconscious motives of why you did what you did. Your mother did that, your father did that. And that can be helpful to just give you some awareness, but it won't stop the hypnosis. It won't stop the programming. The programming is happening all the time. Just like that guy in the movie, if you were to walk up to him and say, why are you doing this? You're acting strange. He'd be like, no, it's because that's just what I feel like doing. He doesn't have any rational understanding of why he's doing what he's doing. I mean, in that case, that's actually a really healthy thing to do. Do whatever the hell you want. Don't let people run your life. But you've been programmed the opposite way. Don't do things you like. Don't do things that are good for you. Let other people run your life. And when somebody says that you have the magical power to stop their insanity if you just do this one thing, and you go, okay, I'm going to go and make sure that I take care of that so you don't do that one crazy thing, and then it'll never happen again, right? That's crazy. That your mental functioning has been impaired. Do you want to be free of that? I can teach you how to do that. So for this channel, what I recommend is you go here to reversenarcabuse.com. Watch those videos. Watch those videos, and then you'll have an understanding of how to reverse the narcissistic devaluation. We will continue to go deeper in that going forward on this channel. If you want to be able to change that programming, like instantaneously, if you could do that, would you? Look, here's another question. Do you want to be happy? The only thing that matters in life is being happy. That's the only thing. Nothing else matters. When you're on your deathbed, I guarantee you, you're not going to be thinking about how much money did I make? Was I a good person? Did people like me? Was I popular? You won't be thinking about that. When you're on your deathbed, you're going to go, did I do the things I wanted to do? And if you're spending your whole life trying to fix other people because you've been programmed You've been hypnotized into wanting to control other people's feelings all the time so that you can be a good person. When you're on your deathbed, you're going to go, I wasted my whole life. The only thing that matters is being happy. That's the only thing that matters to me. And I have learned how to live my life in such a way that I only do what makes me happy. And here's the part that you don't know yet. When you live your life to fulfill your soul's desires, you help every other person on this planet, even if they don't like it. If they're, the crazy borderline or the narcissist says, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to kill myself. If you're in a space of true healing and love, you say, well, I have no control over what you're going to do. I'm not going to do anything that's damaging to me. So I'm leaving. Goodbye. Whether they do or don't harm themselves is completely none of your concern. You don't have any control over that. A sane person realizes that. A hypnotized person thinks that they have to do something. So that's what I recommend that you do. Go here to reversenarcabuse.com and watch those videos. Learn about what the difference is between healing narcissistic abuse trauma as opposed to reversing the narcissistic devaluation programming. And then go here to thunderwizard.com, click on the shop, and get quantum shifting. You can see the first video is free. You can see it on my channel. You can also see it if you subscribe to the thunderwizard.com website. You can watch that first video for free. And then I recommend that you get the rest of the videos. Because look, this is where we're going. If you want what I have, you got to do what I do. That's the bottom line. Whenever you work with somebody, one of the reasons that I left my therapist is because I didn't want his life. When I looked at his life, I didn't want it. And I realized he can't, as they say in the program, the 12-step program, you can't transmit something you haven't got. So if you can't live it, if your teacher hasn't accomplished what you want, you shouldn't take their advice. I have accomplished it. I have perfect health. I'm almost 61 years of age, and I'm in the best health of my life. I'm stronger than ever. I'm not taking any steroids. I'm not on any drugs. Anything like that. I live on the beach. I surf every day when the waves are good. I only do what I want. I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. I don't let anybody get into my life and take away my energy or my happiness. I only have people in my life that add to my happiness. If that is what you want, I can teach you how to do that. And you don't have to spend 30 years in therapy trying to get rid of a program that is continuously going, even though the therapist is jabbering at you. I can show you there's an 11-step process of quantum shifting. And I can teach you that. So I only want to help people who are serious. I know that you're serious if you watch those videos. So go to reversenarcabuse.com and watch those videos, and then go to thunderwizard.com and start with the free quantum shifting, and then get the second one. And when you do that, I'll know you're serious. We're going to keep talking about this on this channel, so I appreciate your questions. Keep bringing them on. And this will work for anybody, by the way. Those of you who are watching this channel, if you're borderline or you're narcissist and you're watching this channel, the reversing narcissistic abuse programming will work for you. The quantum shifting will work for you. It will work for anybody who is willing to do these processes and is willing to be self-evaluating and is willing to be fearless. If you're willing to do that, the level of shifting you can have is off the charts. The people that are getting back to me about what is happening to them, there are people, if I showed you pictures of them, between 1 month and 6 months, you wouldn't even know they're the same person. You would say, who's that other person? It's the same person. They've completely shifted. Anyway, reversenarcabuse.com, then go to thunderwizard.com, start the quantum shifting program. That's it. Thank you for the questions. Please keep them up, and we'll keep doing this. See you all very soon. Take care. See, where am I? We can end with this.